It's been 10 years since I uploaded a video with this person over here. It's Rubal. Look at the icon. She's an icon living.
No, stop.
Ha! Like
That just reminds me of what Pantano said. Just his whole video comes into mind.
Oh my god, that was so great. Like, oh man. He did a new one. But anyway, we are here to talk, and I pretty much asked Rubal, I was like, hey yo, you like cool music stuff, and I like cool music stuff. So let's talk about cool music stuff.
Cool music stuff?
Yeah, look. When I was making the statement, what happened was that the wind came through my closed window and the airflow.
No, it's cool, dude. Let's just
Guys, if you don't know where we're from America. And if you know, this place is America. And today, me and Rubal are doing a bit of a new thing where we raw. It's kind of like a reaction / breakdown, but you're not gonna see us sit here and watch the video and be like, "Oh my god, did you see that? That's happening!" Like, no.
Yeah, we're going for a raw. We're just gonna raw it, pretty much. You know, just go into it without a condom.
We're doing a raw breakdown of
a very raw breakdown of the music video. Yes.
Yeah. I thought it'd be a cool series, so I was like, "Oh, yo, hey, Rubals, I know you like the music, so if you guys want us to do this again, just let me know, because this shit's fun, and we have fun doing this." It was totally not a pain trying to set up this recording at all. So yeah.
It took like a good 20 minutes.
It only took like 5 minutes at best.
It felt like 20 minutes. No, it took me it took like 15 minutes.
Anyway,
we literally just got it to work.
They can't see the timer anyway, so it don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No one can see the truth. But yeah, so basically, if you don't know, Childish Gambino has returned to the musical fray. He's barely been gone. Like, it feels like he just dropped "Awaken My Love" 2 days ago. And
2 days ago.
I mean, it was last year, but it was like 2 days ago, and before we even
the
get
songs are still popping, so
yeah.
I don't think it matters. But I feel like this might be his last song with this name. So, and I feel like he wanted a statement, you know, like a really hardcore statement before he leaves. Or who knows? Maybe he might not retire this name. Maybe he'll come back to it again.
I think he's doing like an album. Like, he's like doing a like he said this is like a last album. So I think this is like the first single of it, which is pretty cool. Yeah. And then he did another new song on Saturday Night Live, which I saw on Twitter. Twitter is the reason that this is even happening, because I was up till rooster hours, and I just see like, oh, a tweet from Childish Gambino. What does it say? This is America. Let's click the URL because we're curious cats here. And music starts playing. I'm like, oh, it's new music from Childish Gambino, and like it was just like. You're as you're going through the experience of it when it's new, you're just kind of like, oh yeah, this is really cool. And like if you hadn't listened to Childish Gambino, this probably like destroyed you, because you're just like, what? Wait, no, it's supposed to be happy. Why is it scary? But it was just really fun. This is America. It was a fun song.
And his music is usually I'd say it's like an experience. I feel like mainstream artists nowadays don't really care for the experience. Some do, obviously. But he is always looking for that experience. How can he show like his views on life through his music? And it's like a story, pretty much. I really appreciate his talent. And this song especially.
It was really well done. Like, it felt like a the way that Gambino / Glover. I mean, I'm calling him Gambino right now because he likes to be his music under that name. That's his name. But basically, what he has this really, really good control of how how you feel. You're not like, he could say the most simple stuff, but the music itself is making you feel something because he's doing that to. I mean, every artist tries to do that to a degree, but he does it so well that you know it's coming and you're still like, oh my god, like you're still freaking out at the very thought of it.
Yeah, and he has layers. He uses layers, and he does do them so well. He uses them in such in a certain way where it comes off, and it's just like, you know, pow pow in your face. It kind of reminds me of like. It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know why I'm thinking Death Grips right now, but they have that same thing where it's like where they're trolling people on purpose, and people don't get it until like they're fans of them, you know. Yeah. And I feel like Gambino's fans understand his views, but people that'll watch it for the first time, I think he has that in mind as well. Like people that watch it for the first time, they're going to be like, "Whoa, what is this?" And it's going to be new and interesting for them.
Yeah, it was like, so yeah, I guess we should, yeah, talking about Glover, I mean, Gambino is just like, you just know all this shit's coming, and it's still, it's just, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, it's still new and fresh.
Yeah.
If you're a fan.
Like, this was unexpected, which is always great, because, like, you know, at 1 a.m, you don't expect anyone to drop, like, a song, but hey, he probably dropped it at midnight, and I was just so half asleep that I didn't realize it. Could have been at midnight, because Saturday Night Live retweeted it, too.
Releasing it at midnight is a very weird time, but I guess he realizes that people are going to be awake anyway, so...
They're usually fiending for, like, because I think he mentioned, like, he's always around on the internet, but he doesn't, like, use his name on purpose, so, like, he kind of is, like...
What if he has, like, well, how do you say that word?
What word?
A-L-I-A-S. Aliases?
Oh, alias.
Alias,
yeah, no, so, like, getting into, like, I guess the song itself and the music video, it just kind of, like, it starts off so just, like, you're in this warehouse. The music is like, this guy sits down and he starts playing this guitar, and you're like, oh, this is so nice. And you hear Gambino he has that really, his voice, he just has such a range of a voice. Like, it's crazy how he can go from just like the scariest motherfucker in the room, the creepiest motherfucker in the room, to like just this gentle, kind soul that you would never expect could sound just as evil. And you're just hearing like, oh, he's like, oh, I want to party, oh, you want a Molly, and it was just like, and it felt like, oh, I was like, this sounds like it's gonna be a party song, but I was just like, let me keep going and see where this goes, and it was just really cool to feel like I felt like there was a setup here, like it felt like a setup, and he's just singing about the Molly and the party, and I think what that symbolized, for me at least, when I heard that part was. Like, oh, you know, if you look at the title of the song, "This Is America," you're like, this is a part of it. People want to have a good time, and usually the most popular part of that is parties and drugs and alcohol, and, you know, just not really thinking about the future or the past, just like kind of being in the moment. And when he's like, you know, just dancing to that part of the song, it just pretty much embraces that part. But it does it in such a way that it feels sweet. It doesn't feel like he's trying to be like, oh, this isn't fake. This is a real part of America.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that part. How are you feeling towards the beginning about it?
Towards the beginning, initially I was like, what is this? Why is this man just playing a guitar? And why are they zooming in on Gambino specifically? And I realized that he's showing himself as the face of this video. Usually he doesn't do that. Sometimes he doesn't do that. But he always does it too. Honestly, in every video, like, I can't remember which ones specifically. I can't remember the names of them. But in each video, he uses himself as the main character, and the faces that he was using, the facial expressions that he was using, it seemed like, I don't know, the way he was depicting them, it seemed like he wanted a story to be shown on his face, especially, and he only had like 2 chains. I noticed that initially as well, and he only had like pants on. I don't remember if he had shoes on. Did he have shoes on?
No, I think he had the last time he did like something shirtless like that was when he sung on like SNL. I think like he performed "Awaken My Love." I just remember this. He like performed like Redbone on I want to say SNL or some late night show, and he had the same like he just had that shirtless. He was shirtless and he had pants on, but I'm pretty sure he had like socks or something. He had like yellow socks on.
I feel like he does that to show vulnerability. Like, this is him, you know. This is the character that he's trying to show. And the fact that he only had 2 chains, right away I thought materialism. And then I didn't expect him to shoot the guy in the head, and I didn't expect it to. I realized afterwards that the reason why the guitar player, he had a mask over his head, right? Like a bag over his head, and that was to symbolize that he could be anyone. Like, he could be you or anyone, and you know, it was just him shooting that guy. It's like, I don't know. It's just, there's so many layers. I can't really explain it in words.
No, it's fine. It was just like when that happened, because I was sitting there like, I know this means something right now, but I don't get it. The craziest part is that all I want to know is the filming behind when it looked like it was so fluid. How he kind of danced up, he did the faces, he's moving up, and then he's standing there. There is nowhere for him to have a gun, but he pulls it out of thin air. And I mean, I know it's like natural. It's like you can do that with special effects. I just want to know like how they did that. But
I feel like most likely when you're shooting a music video, you're gonna have to redo it a few times before it like comes out perfect.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe he just had to like calculate it precisely right at that moment. He had to pull it out.
Pulls it out of thin air and like what when he pulls it out, I'm like, he's not gonna shoot, and he just shoots the guy in the.
Yeah, and it's unexpected. You didn't expect it to happen, and I feel like that probably shows how media works. You don't expect bad things to happen, but when you read about it, you're like, whoa. Why did it happen? Why did this happen? And you can't ask questions in this music video, at least, because it just did. There wasn't an explanation for it. It's just things happen, and once they do, you can't really change it.
Yeah, I think that's getting to the central point of this song is that he's just putting this out there, and I feel like what might happen is some people, because I already saw it on Twitter with certain people were like, oh, he's trying to take away our guns, and then other people were like, see, he's criticizing you guys for having it. I feel like he's literally just like, this is what's going on right now.
Yeah, he's just stating what's going on, and gun violence, or like people that hate gun violence. It's not that they don't support guns, it's the fact that they want more gun control. And gun control does not mean that people aren't going to get guns, you know. It's just there's going to be specific laws instated, and it's just going to be a little more difficult to get them. Obviously, it does give you peace of mind, and it's like a whole safety thing, but there are people out there that use them in a very inappropriate way, and it's not helpful at all when there isn't control. It's just going to keep happening.
Yeah, so what's interesting too is that the first time he shoots someone, you talked about how like that part it wasn't really, it was more about how it could be anyone, and then like the second time that it happened, first before we talk about that, the right when he shoots the guy, the music just shifted so fast, but it was done in such a way that it doesn't seem like it was a crazy transition. It was just like this makes sense, because at first when you hear it, you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But then like you listen.
Like, I don't know. Maybe he already knew what he wanted the music video to be, and that's why it just flows so well together. Like, it's just a whole, like, it's an experience.
Yeah.
It's like he knew what he wanted to do, and he I don't know, it just happened so well. Like, he created it so well.
It's so crazy because it's like the transition doesn't seem, because you know, like how when a beat switches, there's a whole pause, and like you hear like you can hear it starting to change, and that's really cool. But he did it so smoothly that you're just like, oh. And then the way he says, like right when he shoots it, he's just like, "This is America," and it's just like, oh God, oh wait, no,
oh,
like
God.
He's trying to.
But again, his facial expressions during that, I feel like before he said that, the crazy eyes kind of thing, quote unquote. I think he did that on purpose. I feel like I think I told you this earlier, but like I think he did that to show like stereotypes, as well as like you know, people that harm others. They don't think of who they're harming. They do it just to show just to show their statement.
Yeah, it's like because it's crazy because that part when I saw him doing it, I was just like, he looks like he's just doing typical like Glover stuff, which is why I was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that, like the fact that that's a thing, and how the school children probably mean something too, because they're all excited and dancing, and he's dancing, and then like, and he's talking about how he's getting the bag, and he's talking about how like he's got to have a gun on him because he feels like he needs to be protected. I think that was like something, like when he said that, I was like, that sounds like you want to be like, you trying to be safe, and I'm like, it felt like, and the way the music like had this dark type of shift, it felt like yeah, he's giving you this blunt punch to the face, and he's also like still, but he's smiling at you because he's like, yeah, this is America.
Yeah, it's like yeah, and the facial features the facial expressions that he's using when he's smiling, and he has like those really wide eyes, like he's like it looks like he's on edge. Like he knows that he knows that he's having fun, but he's still on edge. Like he doesn't know what's going to happen next. And that's what he's showing in the video as well. You don't know what's going to happen next, so you're always also on edge with him, and he's forcing you into that state of mind. And with the school children, especially with like the dance moves, I feel like the fact that he was using popular dance moves from the past 2 years, that he's showing black culture is popular. But black students, black kids, are students in general, they're not being cared for. Black people aren't being cared for. They only, you only see like the front page of materialism and their culture, but you don't really care for the underlying things that they have to deal with.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and I think like the slick part of that is when is in the happy chorus when he comes back. So we're like, he shot the first dude, he's danced with the school children, and he comes through a door. But we don't see that. We don't see him first. We see like a huge choir, and like they're singing, "Black man, get your money, black man," and it's sort of like, I didn't catch it the first time, but then I listened a few more times, like,
oh my God! I just realized another thing. I feel like the fact that he came out into that room, I didn't realize he was gonna come into the room either. Like I was like, why is there a door over there? Oh, but I feel like the fact that he was shooting, the fact that there was specifically just black people in the video, the fact that he was shooting the choir and he shot that guitar player in the beginning, he was, that shows that how, like, let's say Kanye West, for instance, he's, knocking, like, his fellow black brothers and sisters out. He doesn't care about what they're having to deal with, and he's only caring about his own freedom of expression. Pretty much, he doesn't realize how he's neglecting other people and how they're feeling about it. So I feel like Gambino was trying to express that as well. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm going to take a different route. I thought it was a reference to the Charleston shooting.
I feel like that too. I think there was just so many layers. It could express each thing.
Yeah, it like had layers, like you said before. Like it was just like, because I was like, the moment I saw the choir, I was like, he's gonna shoot them, isn't he? And then he stopped. Like he dances in, and you're like, oh no. Like at this point, he's about to be unrelenting, because for like right after he did the transition the second time, the happy part only comes in like it comes in that second time, and you're like, oh. Like,
yeah, you don't expect something bad to happen each time, mm-hmm. But it's just it's like, I don't know, it's just showing the reality of things. You don't know what's going to happen,
and it's scary. And like,
it is scary.
And he kind of just like keeps going, and then like after he shoots the choir, he kind of just dances out of there, and he's like, yeah, and then the song comes right, it transitions right back, because he's like, no, you're going to see this. It doesn't matter what you think is going to happen. You're still going to see this. Like, he's unrelenting, because it's just like similar to how you said before, like how with the media, they only show the front page of it, but then when something bad does happen, you can't get away from it. You can't get away from all the bad shit that's happening the moment you turn on the news or anything. You go anywhere on any social media, you go on YouTube, you go anywhere, you cannot avoid it once it becomes something else. And I think that was something he was showing there. It was like, you can't escape this, and you're going to look at it. Mm-hmm. It was, I don't know, it's just like, and he juxtaposes it, like I think you told me a while ago, he juxtaposes it with like his grin, and he's doing all these like popular dances. He's doing a little look alive jump.
And the song as well, it's not a normal vibe for him. He doesn't normally go for a song setting like that. And I feel like he was trying to use like, you know how rappers nowadays have the same beats?
Yeah.
He was doing that. He was trying to show juxtaposition with the warehouse setting, with how simple it was, and then the party setting underneath, right? Like the song and the dances.
Yeah, it made it really like colorful.
Yeah, it was colorful, even though it was so dull. The setting was just so dull, and I don't know, like the reality of the situation, as well as how people try to cope with this as well. They try to push it out of their mind and make it seem like it's not going to happen to them.
And it gets louder and louder, because like the transitions just eventually like get faster. Like I said before, like when he shoots, like when the song starts with the happy part and it goes for like a good like 10 seconds, 12 seconds, then he shoots the guy, then the transition, and then the dark part is almost longer, like it's longer each time, and then he comes and shoots the choir, and the transition, like there was barely a second of happiness right there, but it flowed so well. It didn't feel like musically, it didn't feel like, oh, I feel like I just got like yanked somewhere else. Like he literally did yank you somewhere else, but it flowed musically well enough so that it wasn't like it wasn't like a crazy cut. I'm trying to like, I don't know how to. It's like in a video when you're watching like a film and it feels like natural. It just felt natural, even though he was yanking you back and forth from that little like that comfortable bubble, and then he yanks you into this like tragic thing, and then he comes back dancing amongst the tragedy, amongst the chaos, and he's like, yeah, this is just how it is.
Yeah. And I was also thinking that maybe the title of the song, "This Is America," maybe he was playing on Trump's slogan, make America great again. And you can't really make America great again. It was never great. This is always how America has been. It's always pushed down POC, so the white people, or not even white people, just so the people that are in the 1%, they can keep going up and up. Like, the economy is just so
messed up.
It's so divided. And they're doing that on purpose. And that's just how America is. Celebrities will always be on the up and up, and they're always going to be greedy for power, for money, for control, and they'll forget about the things that they had to deal with before.
Yeah, it's there's just like, it was just such a great freaking like. And it's funny, I noticed that people kept talking about Young Thug, and I just realized he was in there. Well, I didn't just realize it, but like I noticed it. I was like, oh, that's Young Thug.
He was?
Yeah, so like you know that like that guy that's like when, okay, so we're gonna skip forward a little bit. Yeah. So like Bino smokes the joint, and then like yes. the music fuses the anxiousness of the transition beat with the happiness of like the black man get your money, and then when he goes running through that tunnel, well, the first time you hear Young Thug, I think, is when he says, like, I just got off the phone with America or something, and y'all owe me a bunch of money. That's him. I want to say that's him. And then when he's like, when Gambino's running through the tunnel, and you know there's not like you can't like there's a bunch of people behind him, and he's freaking out. You hear like somebody saying something about a black man. I want to say that's Young Thug. So I think Young Thug is in there because Gambino's done that before, where he has like people who could clearly do features, and he features them in a way where he hides them. Like he had, and because of the internet, I want to say he had, oh my God, Kilo Kish. Mm-hmm. I found out at some point in my life when somebody was like, yeah, Kilo Kish is actually in the Zealots of Stockholm song. She's the girl that's talking. I'm like, there's not even a feature on there. There's not even a feature on there. Like, how did people know that? And then you listen, and you're like, oh yeah, that's her.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what he wants to show. He wants a message to go through, even if he does have someone featured in it. He only wants the message to go through. He doesn't want people to care about anything else other than the message.
Which is like the coolest thing, and the coolest thing about it is you compare, like obviously you can't really compare evolution, but I mean you can, but like listening to like something like, I don't know, Camp, yeah. And then coming to this, and it's just this huge, just like difference, but at the same time there's like parts of it you're like, I can see where like he grew into this. And he never stayed like... And
his initial, like his first album, I could see that he wanted to show more of a message, but he was still growing into this artist, into his name.
Mm-hmm. It was just like...
So
really
cool. It's really nice to see how far he grew and where he's at right now.
But yeah, as far as like the music and the music video one, it was really well done. I mean, like when he smokes the joint, I think that's like the first, like, because he does like a little like move, and he's like, and I'll find you like Flocka, and then everybody like it gets quiet, like everyone disappears, like you hear like I heard a little bit, like I could hear like the last footsteps, and then it gets quiet, and he kind of sits there for like a split second to contemplate. His hand goes down, he gets a blunt, and he smokes it. And then, like, for a minute, like, just, well, not a literal minute, but, like, for a few seconds, there's just nothing. He's kind of just giving you that second to, like, try and process for just a minute. And then he climbs the car, and we see the guitar guy again. But this time, I want to say the little thing, the hostage mask was over his face. But we knew it was the guitar guy at that point. Like, it has to be. Or at least I'm speculating that it is.
Of course it was, because initially in the music video, you know, it shows him and Gambino, and then he walks over, and the guy's still sitting in the chair, but there's a mask over him. So of course it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Also, the warehouse setting, I feel like he did that on purpose as well. Like Like how, you don't know what's happening behind the walls. Like, you don't care what's happening behind the walls, and there's just so many different things that are happening in the Black community constantly, and you only really care for the things that are positive,
Yeah,
and you're not allowing yourself to see the reality of the situation. I don't know. It's just it was very. I don't know.
It had a lot of things going on.
Yeah, there's just so many things going on. I'm like reading what I sent you earlier, so.
It's all good. Yeah, we can we can wrap it up now because I think we've talked a lot about it.
But also the cars. There are just so many things that I have to talk about.
Go for it.
What did you think about the cars? The fact that there were just so many at the end.
Is it crazy? Like with Gambino's video, it was so clear that there were certain things that have underlying meaning, but they just haven't hit me yet. That's why It's a raw breakdown, because I don't have my thoughts haven't completely formulated into a I get what that means and I get what that means, because I didn't even think when I really hadn't thought of anything. I was just like, Gambino's just being weird. He's doing his little thing and he's like flexing, and I'm like, okay, that looks like something Bino would just do. That looks like something Glover would just do. It doesn't. And then you were just like, this represents. I was like, holy shit! I didn't even think about that. That it's just certain things. Like the cars, if they represent something, I'm not sure what it is. Just because, or maybe it is like what you said. It
represented or symbolized materialism, like how in music videos nowadays they will show cars and women, right? And that symbolizes where they are in life. They're on the up and up. Like, they have a whole lot of money. They can get women. They can get cars. They can get gold, riches, all of that, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that he only showed one woman and just all of these old cars from like the 80s and 90s, right? Mm-hmm. It was just like it looked like time stopped.
Yeah, like it does. I knew it was kind of weird, because maybe it's just because we're conditioned to expect like Lambos and like Teslas and I don't know if there's been a Tesla music video, but like just the most expensive cars in the music videos with strippers and like scantily clad women, and it's like, huh. Like, you don't even... But it doesn't, it didn't throw me off, if that makes sense. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, this is a thing.
Yeah. But to me it did. Like, it just... Everything just seemed like... I don't know. Like, I look at paintings the same way. Like, I'll look at them and try and perceive each corner, differently. So, the fact that he kept cutting into different aspects of the music video as if it was its own world. The cars to me represented, as well as the gold chains and the fact that he wasn't wearing a shirt. It just represented like materialism, capitalism, and I don't know. Do you know what kind of cars those were? Like, from what era? Because I feel like they were, like, from specifically before the 2000s.
I'm the worst. I would go on record on YouTube. I know people don't know because I've never done a video where I've been in a car, I don't think. But I don't know cars at all. So, like, eventually, we'll have made so many videos, and so many people will be like, this is what this car is. But I have no idea. I was just like, my brain went Mustang, but that's only because
they looked like they were from the 70s, or like around that time period at least. I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with history. I try to read up on it as much as possible, but I feel like he was trying to show that time stopped during that era. And once the 2000s rolled in, and now we have Trump in line, you know, I feel like he was trying to express that as well. But a lot of the things that you said in your breakdown, the one that you sent me, I wasn't really thinking about the whole gun violence thing and the shootings, but it was very interesting to see your point of view on that.
Thank you. It was like, for me, that felt like the main factor, and I could hear like at first that felt like the main factor. And then I kept because I rewatched it like at least 4 times before as I was writing it, and I would pause it and look at this and then look at that, and I'm like, something else is missing here. And then I keep hearing that little chorus, "Black man, get your money, get your money." I'm like, oh my God, he's trying to do black empowerment while talking about gun violence, because the gun violence is so in front of you. And
I don't know if he was talking about black empowerment exactly. I feel, like I said before, that with the whole Kanye West thing, that when you're in that line of power, when you're in that state of power, because this is what celebrities do all over the world. When you're that high up, you feel like nothing's gonna bring you down, and so you'll push everyone down, even if they're like, you know, people that helped you get to that place. You'll push them down, and you won't care for them. You'll only care about getting higher and higher, you know, to that 1%.
No, yeah,
that's what I felt like he was talking about. Get your money, even if it means that other people are going to be harmed. Even if that means that other people are going to have to deal with shit, and you're not going to.
That does make sense, because if you think about it, in the video, it's like most of the video, it seems like Glover is almost like he's participating in this world, but he's kind of safe from it, because he's the one causing
each
the harm.
time he doesn't have to run, but in the end, you're going to have to. You're going to be at the same place that everyone else is.
And he's trying to run from it. So you could say that like maybe that end part is like representing of like death.
Possibly. Also, the fact that he was the first person to run, it seemed like he already knew what was going to happen, and he had like that really those few seconds before everyone else noticed.
Yeah, because he was like ahead of people for a few seconds, following him, and then when it turns around, the other people don't even come into view. So like at first it seemed like he was among, everyone, and he was just like, he wasn't a conduit, but he was just in that world. And then at the very end, he's like among those same people. He was just causing chaos around, because he kind of at first
I feel like those people also represented the general population. So the fact that they were all running together behind him, and he was the only one that was in front, I don't know.
It's just
I don't know. Like Gambino definitely represented the 1% for sure. The fact that he was able to cause all of that mayhem, and then each time he was able to walk away from it.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. That's what I was like. That's like that right there. That's a thing right there. Like even like. So you got the unrelenting media, you got the unrelenting violence that no matter how hard, no matter who you are, you're still among it. And then you got like the 1%, like that shit is crazy. All of this in one 4-minute music video, mind you. This music video is only 4 minutes, and if you don't count like the 2 seconds after the fade out, it's so full of stuff, but it seems like it's just like this, it looks like an episode on a TV show.
And also the police car, there wasn't anyone in it. And the fact that people were running back, you know, Gambino was walking forward, and there were people next to the police car that were running towards the violence.
Like, yeah, there was like, and when he's dancing with the kid, like every time, like if you look in the background, there's all type. Okay, there was one weird thing I want to point out too. There's like chickens. There's 2 chickens.
2 chickens?
At like one point when he's dancing with the kids, I saw it. I swear to God, those 2 blurbs are 2 chickens. But I just remember that. I was like, are those two chickens? Those are two chickens.
Hold up. I'm gonna try and look at the video again because I only watched it one time. I saw all of that, but the chickens, I did not.
They're
see.
there. They're there because I remember that. It's like it's like on the so like the second time he's dancing with it or the first time. I think it's either one of those two.
Okay, hold up. Oh, also the police car again. The people that were running towards the violence, they had like axes in their hands and shit like that. I feel like they were that he, the shooting, right? Like the Charleston shooting, for instance, the shootings that you were talking about. There are riots happening after that and protests. So maybe the fact that he shot those people and the riot being created afterwards.
Yeah, that could.
That could be. I don't know.
I could see that. Yeah.
Okay, let me find the chickens.
This is a technical break, you guys.
He's so cute.
I'm leaving that shit in there.
Wait, the shoes that he's wearing are slippers.
They look like socks.
Yeah, and there's police cars in the back when when he's dancing with the students afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And there are students on top sitting on top of the ledge with phones in their hands and masks on. So the fact that there are taping videos of what's going on, and they're not really the fact that they had like masks over their mouth. It seems like he was expressing how they're not talking, but they're talking with their phones.
That could definitely be something. I didn't even think. I was just thinking about like how he was using the ones that he was dancing with, like in this super happy, like excited way, and then literally not even an inch behind them is all this shit going down.
Yeah, dude. Now that I'm looking at it again, like there's a whole horse. There's a guy on a horse.
There's so much stuff going on, and I was just like, he's still like, because I think what Glover loves to do is like show you something horrible, but try to make it funny, but like in the most subtle way, and it just like everything is so blunt. I mean, he literally did smoke a blunt, so maybe that's why.
Yeah.
But it was just that like when I saw the chickens and the guy on the horse, I was like, really? And then I went, oh, I get it, but yeah, it was just there was like, this is America.
All of those cars. I still feel like they symbolize something, and all the lights are like blinking as well. I don't know if you noticed that.
I know when he stepped on the one car at the end. When he stepped on the car and he started like dancing on it, I noticed that car was lit, but I didn't know. And I know the police lights were going off, but like other than that, I didn't know about.
There are two chickens.
You see? Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah,
They're just sitting there.
man.
But there's one white chicken and then there's one like tan chicken. What could that represent?
Oh my god! Okay,
Dude.
this is too raw breakdown. We're about to start frying this breakdown. Jesus Christ, about to be a fried chicken breakdown.
But initially, it's just like all fun and games, right? People are like, there's this dude with like a money gun, right? Mm-hmm. And he's showering that on his friends. But all the way in the back, there are people running.
Yeah, there's like people running back and
forth. As you go further into the music video, it gets closer and closer until it engulfs them entirely.
Sort of like Glover. Well, no, because he's participating in it. And he kind of knows it's there. And he's just like...
He knows it's there, it's just that he doesn't want to acknowledge it. He wants to stay in this world of fun until, at the very end, he's running away from everything. Mm-hmm. He's sweating...
Yeah, because that whole video, he didn't sweat until that very moment, I don't think. Like, he was, like, just... He was just fresh. It was fresh. There was no... I just find it my favorite part... I don't even know what my favorite part was.
But he was sweating, too. It's just that it didn't get worse until, like, you could see only the sweat on him with, like, the very few lights.
Yeah, you don't sweat something until it gets closer to you.
Yeah.
Sort of like when people are like, well, this doesn't affect me, so I don't gotta worry about it until you're you're staring right in the same barrel, staring down the same barrel as everyone else. And it's like that is just such a cool thing that he did. I mean, I guess like my favorite my favorite part was like the first part because it's so nice. And then like when he switches and he's like, "This is America. What does he say? Don't let them catch you slipping though. Look what I'm whipping up." That and you're just like, wait, what? Excuse me? I was not ready. Like you can tell when a beat switch is coming, but then here he's just like, nope. And like in the parts where he hands the guns off to people, I thought that was interesting. Like right when he shoots the first guy, he gives the gun and the guy has a rag and he just takes it and runs somewhere. And then like the AK, I want to say, I don't know guns. He gets the machine gun, whatever it is, shoots them, hands it off to someone, and just leaves among the chaos. And he's like, whoop, whoop, and he's gone. And then like he's doing his little like, I don't know what the little flex joint he was doing. I just thought it was funny because he's just sitting there like, and then right when the camera, like, you think he's just gonna keep doing it, and then it's like he noticed the camera and he's like, oh hey, and he's like, whoop, and I'm like, wait, what the? And it's just like, it's just so, it's not like there are other really good music videos, and like the thing that was striking about his is that it felt so simple.
It was super simple, but it looked like. It was so simple, but just so well thought out. Mm-hmm. I don't know, I love shit like that. Like, really simple things, but there's just so much going on that it doesn't look simple. It doesn't feel simple. And, yeah, the warehouse was very dull. I think the warehouse maybe symbolized America as a whole. The fact that, like, you know, people only see the popular aspects to it. But when you look, you know, when you dive deep and you get closer and closer to the core, there's just so much violence.
Yeah, like, there's a lot. And I think the most interesting part is when I saw that This Is America, I was, like, half expecting to see an American flag somewhere. Didn't see one. Didn't see one. I feel like if anyone else...
It's not...
Go ahead.
I'm definitely not proud to be an American. I didn't have the choice to be an American. My mom came here because my dad came here, and obviously, when you're a wife, you gotta follow your husband, even if he's abusive, right?
And Rubal is not saying, by the way, that if you're a girl now, if you're married, you can't have your own decisions. I'm just throwing that one out there for someone comes flying in with a karate chop of, well, actually, like,
this is what happens in other countries, though. It can happen here too, but it's like if you are forced into a marriage, the police will come, right? But in India, in foreign countries, they don't get the choice. Arranged marriages are either forced upon you, or you just have to be okay with it. Love marriages are usually looked down on, but if you do get into a love marriage, you know, lucky for you. At least you don't have to deal with a guy that, like, you know, doesn't care about you, and you have to force yourself to go into bed with him and have kids. So my mom came here, and she applied for citizenship, and I got naturalized along with her because I was young. So I didn't get the choice. Honestly, if I did have a choice, I wouldn't have came here. I would have just, you know, went to some other European country, you know, where they have, like, free college and, like, you know, sex ed from a beginning age. If I had the choice as a kid, I would have said no. But I was only, like, 10 months old.
Kind of hard to, like, you don't really have the word capacity that might have matched your brain capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like, I feel the same. I definitely, like, there's some parts of America where I'm just like, what the fuck? Why do we always gloss over this shit?
Exactly. And when people come here, immigrants especially, they don't have it easy.
Yeah.
They're coming here to find a better life, but they don't have it easy. You're not allowing them to have it easy. Especially refugees that don't have a choice either.
This is America. I keep saying that, like, it's like...
It's true. Like, there is no reason to be a patriot. There's no reason to be, to make it seem like you are proud of your country when you don't care about what's actually going on. And this is to say, or to talk about any kind of country, like even India, even any country, Canada, whatever. Like those countries, every country has its own underlying issues, and you can't say that you're a patriot. You can't say that you're proud to be an American or what have you, and not care about what's going on with your fellow citizens. That's not okay.
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed the hammer on the head. Is that there are significant issues in this country. I think that's pretty much the central theme of what Gambino was talking about. Is that there's central issues. Like gun violence is only one of many, but it's a big one that can that basically takes people's lives away, and no one should have the ability to rob someone else of their existence, especially because we don't know what that person could contribute. And even if they weren't contributing anything to society, they still deserve to be able to live out their life regardless of their worth to said country, because we don't know what they wanted to do, and we shouldn't have the ability to remove that from a person, to remove their entire, no, you're done living now. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. So
yeah, and even if you aren't a citizen in this country, even if you aren't a citizen in any country, that is not to say that you don't have rights in that country. You do. And the fact that you can apply for citizenship does mean that you have rights. I don't know, there's just so many shitty things that America is doing that the government is not, is like looking over and not really caring about, especially with Trump in office. He only cares about the 1%. No matter what other like white Trump supporters say, or whoever POC that's supporting Trump, just remember that they don't care, that he doesn't care about you. He only cares about the 1%. He only cares about the people that are able to get further with power, especially him. He doesn't care about anyone else.
Exactly. All right. I think that we have covered pretty much, I mean, like, as much as Raw, because we could keep going. We could keep going, but then we would never have a video.
Going, but I feel like we've said enough.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I'm sure other people realize that all of these things were to do in this video.
Pretty much, like, what we just wanted to show was that Glover's video has just, there's so many ways that it's going, and there's so many
to interpret it, to acknowledge it, even if you don't agree.
Yeah, I even
this
saw,
is reality.
And like one last thing, I even saw on Twitter, like this one girl was talking about how she felt like the way that he portrayed the violence didn't really do anything. Like, she disagreed with it. She felt like it wasn't really impactful, and she felt like it was kind of just not right for him to just simply recreate a killing or do these killings, because it was already such a centralized thing in real life. And I was like, I can see that. I could see.
I don't think he was trying to recreate them. I think he was just trying to show as a whole. You can't just pick and choose what you want to read about.
Mm-hmm. It's still going to happen.
Yeah, it's still going to happen. As a whole, people are constantly afraid. And my best friend, Kristen, she was going through this one state because she was visiting a family. And as she was going home on the highway, she saw these two black people, being pulled over. And they were on their knees. You don't know if that's going to happen to you. Mm-hmm. And it's constantly something that Black America has to face, the POC have to face. They don't know what's going to happen to them. They don't know when they're going to get pulled over and they're going to get thrown into prison for nothing.
or
get shot at.
Prison.
There you don't know.
This is scary.
It's so scary. And POC women have to deal with that a lot. Black men have to deal with it a lot. It's crazy because you don't know what's going to happen to you.
As Glover said, or Gambino said, this is America. And I think that will wrap up our raw breakdown of Childish Gambino's This Is America music video. I'm going to leave the link to that video, and if you want his Twitter, because people are, well, actually, no. If you want to find his Twitter, go find his Twitter, man.
Yeah, we're going to leave a link in the bio. Yeah. I mean, in the description. In the description, and you can, if you haven't watched it yet, you can leave a comment and express what you think happened in the video if we may have left something out.
This is pretty much just our perspective on this. We could be completely wrong, and we're totally not completely wrong.
Yeah, and some of the things that we said probably maybe are a little, off.
Nah, we're 100% always right here on the Well This Guy Says channel. So all you gotta do is just pretty much watch this. This is pretty much like a podcast. Not gonna lie, because I'm looking at the length right now. But anyway, links in the description. This is our raw breakdown. This is our perspective. Please drop your perspective. All 77 of you beautiful people that watch me. And
or more if you are not a subscriber.
Whoa. Those are options. And we're going to click the end record button because we probably won't stop if we keep going. So, this is America.
Yep.
It's done. Wait, I gotta finish the audio. Holy shit.